Jocelyn Vare. My address is 13873 Carolina Court in Fishers. My thoughts about a budget presentation to residents should be a difficult day, especially when the proposal includes a tax increase for residents. And I just want to sum this up, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but what I understand is in 2018, our tax rate was 65 cents for every $100 of assessed value. And then for 2019, it increased to 69 cents for every $100 of assessed value. And now the proposal is 71 cents, an increase of 71 cents for every $100 of assessed value. For a community like ours, as property values keep increasing, this is starting to have a real feel for our residents. I also want to mention 2019, when I was here about a year ago, the increase to 69 cents, my understanding was a part of that increase was to fund a $12 million bond, in part to fund the first phase of the Nickel Plate Trail from 106th Street to 126th Street. This is a project that residents are very in tune to and have a lot of questions about. And I certainly feel like, in the spirit of responsibility and accountability, to be able to speak into that as one of the reasons that taxes were increased for 2019. Residents, and myself included, are very interested in knowing the scope of that project, the deliverables of that project, and the cost of that project. The other thing I would like to mention real quick is I'm not sure if I understand the relevance of comparing Fishers' tax rate to other municipalities' tax rates. Again, I'm just not sure if I understand the relevance there, but I would love to know if there are other municipalities in Indiana, let's say, that have now 2 years of increasing residents' tax rate. So to me, that's what's very relevant. The last thing I'll mention real quick is I looked at 3 other municipalities, Indianapolis, South Bend, and Carmel. Their 2020 budget proposal does not include any increase in tax rates, but I want to share a moment about their process. In Indianapolis, their budget was formally presented to the public over a month ago. In South Bend, they had their first public forum about their budget back in April. And in Carmel, they have public televised budget workshops, 2 in September. The first one was held on September 10th and was almost 3 hours long. So that was a slog. However, my point is, I think that's very important to have plenty of lead time before the deadline of when the budget is approved. Okay, thank you. I know my time's up.
Thank you.
Well, usually when you're trying to attract companies to your city and really people as well, the tax climate for which a community has is an important element in attracting capital and people. And so when we compare ourselves to other communities in terms of tax rate, it really speaks to a couple things. One, our attractiveness in terms of our ability to recruit additional companies to our community. And secondly, I think it really speaks to efficiency. And so our ability to provide a high level of service, a high level of value at the limited level of taxation. When we talk about 2 or 3 years of taxes increasing in the city of Fishers, I would point to some really great quality of life amenities that have happened in our community. And again, it's political season, and I understand that to a degree. But there's also, this, as I spoke in our presentation, this community has always said that we're going to be the highest value, not necessarily the lowest cost. And so when we evaluated things like capturing the last developable land along Geist Reservoir for a park that'll be here for 100 years, whether it's the massive transportation improvement that will happen along State Road 37, whether it's a new home for our police department, 2 new fire stations, those are investments in the quality of life for our community that will last well beyond any political cycle. And so I think, yes, the tax rate has gone up. Can I point directly to quality of investments, quality of life? Absolutely. And would stand before anyone and have that conversation about those sound investments for the long term.
Well, then the point that was made about Carmel not increasing their tax rate this year, and how many millions of dollars more are they getting?
$20 million more a year.
And how much is that of our budget, of our whole city budget?
It's 1/3.
One
Plus,
one third of our city budget.
And their property tax rate is 6 cents higher than us today.
Property tax is higher than us.
And they have food and beverage tax.
Yes, and we do not have food and beverage.
That's how they have those sculptures in the middle of the roundabout.
So,
Too long. Yeah, it's been, we did our first series back probably 4 or 5 years ago for concrete repairs, and it's overdue to finish that up.
One thing that I want to make mention of about the trail that was brought up is that the tracks have come up, the ties have come up, and I've seen several members of our community that are out utilizing the trail to ride their road bikes on.
Not that we advocate.
Not that we advocate
There are
it,
people out
but
there.
to me, it tells me how excited the community is for the trail. They can't wait. Not, like you said, we're not advocating it, but it is already being utilized.
And as for the process, you know, those finance committees are publicly noticed, and we've chewed through at length, you know, hours on end, talking about debt, talking about operational budgets, talking about our overall fiscal plan. I really do encourage anyone to attend those fiscal meetings that we have, finance committee meetings. We hold them after work hours. It's usually at 5:30, so that people are available to make it to those, and certainly welcome any feedback on anything we're doing from a financial perspective.
Yeah, we've had at least 3 to 4 different meetings. They're all publicly noticed. You know, last month at our council meeting, we had a lovely lady here who was, you know, she was concerned that she couldn't find when does everything happen. She says, everything happens so fast here. Why do I not know? And I said, have you looked at our website? And she goes, well, which one? I go, well, there's only one. And what I've been able to do with, and her name's Jan, she's a sweet lady. I email her every Monday, telling her, here's what's going on, you know, this date, this date, this date, this date. And, you know, I think we give you know, plenty of opportunities for people to come in and sit down and talk about what's going on in our community, and certainly welcome anybody who wants to talk to me or anybody up here. We're not hard to find, and we're always willing to sit down and buy a cup of coffee and talk about what's going on in our community. Hi, Jan.